The Switch is a very inspiring device. Not only has it lit a fire under a lot of gamers' souls, but it also has allowed artists and creative persons to showcase their skills on Etsy. So today we are taking a look at the coolest Switch accessories created by fans and artists on the popular website. What's up, everyone? It's Zach from Switch Force. I've got Jake and Gabe alongside me, and we have been perusing Etsy and have found a lot of really unique and really cool and creative sort of add-ons for your Switch. And so today we're going to go through 11 that we really like, and we'll put links in the description, pictures on screen, and maybe you'll find something that catches your eye as well. Gabe, why don't you kick us off with what is possibly the coolest of all?
This thing is so cool, and we will have images in the video along with links for all of these in the description in case you want to purchase it. This one is a Nintendo Switch Sheikah Slate case 3D print Breath of the Wild printed cosplay costume. So you can use this for cosplay if that's what you're into, and take it with you and have your Switch in there at the same time. It serves multiple purposes. One, to again complete your cosplay of Link from Breath of the Wild, but also just to carry your Switch around at whatever con you are going to, so you can have it with you at all times. This thing looks cool. It looks very, very cool. It's reminiscent of the Sheikah Slate, obviously, and it looks like it just slides in and out of the actual Switch itself. Again, images on your screen. This thing is retailing not retailing. It's being sold for $40 on Etsy, and honestly, that seems like a pretty fair price because this thing looks very, very detailed, and I would love one of these.
I like the thought that you could hold it by the handle and play with the Joy-Con, so you're holding it out in front of you or holding it down by the side, and still playing. But no, this is very, very clever, and it is very well done. And I think it's I have the Sheikah Slate case that came with the Breath of the Wild Special Edition, and that's a fun little prop. But this is actually converting the Switch into the in-game tablet, which is crazy and awesome.
Yeah, I wish that the bezels on the actual Switch weren't visible. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish he would have done that. There's no kickstand on this Slate, so you're not going to be able to do that either, unless you can put it against something and just stand it there, because it is thicker than the Switch. So just theoretically, you should be able to have an easier time of leaning it against something as opposed to having a kickstand. But it looks really cool, and even just as a cool little prop to display somewhere, you can just put it not on your desk, but I don't know, maybe if you have a Zelda display thing, and you could put it with the Sheikah eye pointing out. I think it looks really cool. It has the cutout for the charger and for the headphone jack as well, so yeah. You can play while charging. I think this thing is sweet. $40 seems fair to me, so seems cool.
This is definitely very cool, and very cool to see what people do. Now that the Switch has been out for a month, we've started to see a ton of these kind of things popping up. So we'll move on to the next one. That's a really great first start. And then this is probably the most common item you see on Etsy, which are these dock socks. And they are in response to the dock potentially or possibly scratching your Switch. So whether it has scratched your Switch, whether it will scratch your Switch, or if you just want to be extra safe and add a little flair to your dock, I really like these different materialed sock sleeves basically for the front of the dock. And I've selected one here that has all the Mario characters, and it's double-sided. Many of these patterns are repeated throughout Etsy, and it's not like one person is the mastermind behind this. It seems like tons of people are creating them, but I like the ones that have different pattern on both sides, so it's a full print as opposed to duplicated or just a single-sided pattern. But there's ones for Zelda, there's ones for Mario, there's Kirby, there's Pokemon, there's just Nintendo hardware and accessories. But I kind of want to get one, even though I don't think that the scratching is a huge issue. I do have this ping in the back of my head, I'm worried every time I put it in, I hope that wasn't the time. I hope that wasn't the time. And I think at between $10 and $15, depending who you buy it from, that's a reasonable price to ensure extra Switch safety.
And you mentioned it, but it does add just a little bit of flair to your Switch. It looks cool. So
yeah, and some of them are just straight up colors or patterns, but I do like the ones that have Nintendo style to them, because it seems like it almost could be an official accessory.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Jake, carry us through your artistic endeavor.
All right, I'll start off with something that I think is really cool. Not necessarily attached to your Switch, but something to definitely rep the Switch and throughout your entire house or living space. Is the Nintendo Switch lamp, end table or wall mountable, which makes it really 10 times cooler. So it's a lamp that is 7.5 by 7.5 inches by 4 inches thick, and it's made out of like plastic and some wood for like the darker areas, which is really classy looking, I think, when you have it, and aesthetically pleasing when you have it off even. But then when you have the lamp on, it shines like a bright Switch logo in your home. And I think it's really cool that they added holes in it to mount it on your wall, so you can have it kind of like sticking out like a Japanese sort of like signpost, like for like a shop or something. And
Yeah,
I think that's
shop here.
Gabe.
Yeah,
this
it's
is what you
like
need for
this.
Summer
It's like the
Clubs. Just throw one
Nintendo
of these on
stop.
your door outside, and then people know like, oh, Switch is here, so I'll come in.
Yeah, it's like the Switch stops that we're talking about, where you can play with friends. Like this is exactly what they would have, like this lamppost Switch sign sticking out. And I think that 7.5 by 7 inch is a decent size for this. And I think it just looks really clean and cool both on and off. So I think it's definitely if you want to like have your Switch set up, be really professional, this is what you gotta get.
It's a little expensive at $49, but it is handmade and it is like made to order. So
It's
keep that
definitely
in
fun.
mind.
It's not amateur hour, Gabe. This is like once you're like fully dedicated to the Switch, this is what you get.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it is very cool.
I like the idea that like you could throw this outside a door and like people come by, whether it's your mom or your girlfriend or your kid, and you're like, the light's on. Sorry, I'm playing Switch.
Right? Yeah, it's
Stay
like an
away.
indicator, like do not disturb when the light is on.
Although maybe it indicates please disturb because I'm playing Switch and I want you to join in.
True.
Yes.
Either way, I really like it. Going with something a little more superfluous, I really like these Switch plush dogs. They are very oddly endearing. One of them has the Switch font on it, one doesn't, and it's taking riffing on the grip dog and turning it into an actual little cute stuffy. So $55 is a heck of a lot of money, but they are from Italy and they are handmade and custom made.
They kind of
and so
scare
while
me
this
a
may
little
not
bit.
be, it may not what.
They kind of scare me a little bit. Not gonna lie.
It may not be like a very economical purchase, but I just like the look of them. I like their tongues, and I like that they have fully realized the grip dog into an actual creation.
They
Yeah,
remind me of was it Sloth from Goonies?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're on your own with this one, Zach.
Little bit. All right, Jake, give us your next.
So next is something that I've kind of made before, but this is a little bit more official looking because it has a Switch logo on it. It is a controller wall mount for your Nintendo Switch Pro controller. So if you have a solid setup where you consistently play Switch docked, you can get this nice little wall mount. It's only $4, and screw it into like your end of your desk or the wall, and have a nice, very dedicated hanger to hang your Pro controller on, so you don't have to leave it on the table. You can display the professional glory that is the Pro controller.
This thing looks really cool. I wouldn't mind having one of these, and it's only $4, so pretty good.
Yes, I like it, and in fact, you kind of made something like this, Jake.
Yeah, that's what I said. But this is just
Yeah.
more permanent. Mine were adjustable and movable. But anyways.
Yes, I really like those, so I think this is a good recommendation. I'm going to move on to the Nintendo Switch cartridge holder for the dock, which is a 3D printed little insert that you can stick in the dock, and it allows you to hold 4 games right at the dock, which seems silly, but I kind of like it as, I mean, first it's $10. Second of all, I like that then there is a way to easily have the games right there, since they aren't big discs, since you don't really need the big cases. If you're not traveling, it would be cool to have my mainstay games, my Zelda, my Isaac, my, eventually, Mario Kart right there, so I could just pop it out and put it in. And then they're all there. You don't have to worry about losing the cartridges. You don't have to come up with a secondary solution to store them. Right now, I keep my cartridges in their travel case, but that means I need to keep my travel case by my dock, which is not as convenient as this. And I like that they kept it cheap. It's simple. It's 3D printed, and I like that it's just like this little attachment that is perfectly shaped to fit on the back of the dock and not be cumbersome, not be oversized, and instead just be very nice. And provide you with 4 extra opportunities to put some games right by the system.
Very cool.
I am going to one-up you and show you the Nintendo Switch game cartridge display. This one can hold 12 cartridges, not just 4. They do have a model that is attached to the bottom of the dock, sort of that you rest your dock in it. But this one is kind of cool because you can put it on a shelf by itself and display all of your cool Nintendo Switch cartridges if you don't want to display all the cases or don't have room for that or something like that. And again, also it allows that kind of grab and go, pick up and play, just pop it out of the little stand here, and you can play with your cartridge. So if you have a lot of games and want to show them all off, get the 12 pack, I guess.
this one you would need to put next to it, but again, it's a simple.
They have a
solution.
model though where that is the dock fits into like a base, and then it has the 12 with it. So
yeah, actually, this may be my favorite thing because it's cheap and it seems like it would have a lot of functionality, even though it's a simple idea. I love the idea of having my games all just nicely displayed and stored right by the system.
mm-hmm.
All right, so moving along. Next up for me, we have the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con window decal. This is if you want to display your love for Switch on the go, and everyone shows off like, oh, sports teams logos, or those little like My Family and Dog, or like Jawa's on board, or things like that, Star Wars related. I like the idea of having just 2 Joy-Con, and again, this is a symbolic gesture to let everyone know that like, hey, I am a Switch player, follow me home and let's play Snipper Clips, but maybe not follow
This is
them
why
home.
they need
But
more colored
maybe,
Joy-Con, so they can make more colored decals, so you can have a whole family of Joy-Con.
Yes, and so you can display what color Joy-Con you have and kind of show off your preferential setup. But I just like the idea again that like you get to like wear your Switch love and Switch dedication.
Or they
around
should have
town.
like 2 Pro controllers for the parents, and then a bunch of little Joy-Cons for the kids. And you can even have the
that'd be
Switch
great.
dog.
Yeah, there you go.
And
That's
they're
the
only
grip
$4,
dog.
so that's pretty good too.
very, very good.
Okay, so my next one kind of ties in back to the Sheikah Slate at the beginning, and I guess I should have put this there, but brain lapse. This is the Traveler's Shield from Breath of the Wild backpack. So it is not only looks cool on your back, but it has functionality. You could probably put your Switch in there. I don't know how much padding there is, but it could definitely fit your Switch in there. And you can then look like Link running around in the wild and be a traveler. And it looks pretty well made. I mean, it's $65, which is a hefty price, but all this kind of handmade custom cosplay stuff is always going to cost you. So if it's something that you want to invest in, I think is pretty dang cool.
Well, there's only going to be one available of these, so he doesn't
They
sell
could
a bunch
probably
of them.
make more.
Well, it says
Yeah.
there. Also, this thing seems like it's made for children. Like everything on this these images for this thing, everything is like too small. His clothes is too small. The backpack is too small.
I do not think this is for children. I think this is a man.
Dude, look where it is.
Down his back. Gotta keep it tight.
Yeah, but it's like way up there. Okay, I'm.
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's held tight up high because it's.
Gabe, have you
a
played
shield.
Breath of the Wild? Have you seen how like attached his shields are? His shields aren't like dripping and like hitting his butt when he runs.
No, I understand that just for like practicality's sake. Whatever, I don't want.
Gabe wants a low-hanging backpack. Gabe was one of those kids in school who stretched the straps way out there.
That's not true. You've seen how I wear my backpacks.
Have I?
Yes, every time you pick me up from the airport.
Oh, well,
right.
anyhow. My
Next.
final Etsy find, and one that I really like, is the complete Legend of Zelda Amiibo Card set. Now, you may be like, are they reselling these? But they're not. In fact, they've converted the Zelda Amiibo into card form, which I think is really cool. They're printed, obviously, but they're high-res, photoshopped images, and they got the sort of the code onto the card so that they actually can be scanned, just like a normal Amiibo or just like some of the other Amiibo cards, which I think is a really clever way, especially for a game like Zelda, because I do know some people like to pop the Amiibo on there to get the rewards and sort of boost their Link and their in-game status, and it's not really practical to carry the Amiibo with you. I mean, you can, but here you could just put some of these cards in your case with you, or in your pocket, or in
cool.
wherever, and then have those boosts and those bonuses whenever you want. And I just like the idea and the fact that people are capable of converting the Amiibo and sort of their code into a card form. And that's just really cool. And they're all tested. And this is a complete set, so it's kind of expensive. But you can get smaller amounts, smaller sets, and even individuals, and they look really good. I think it's a very fun idea.
I think it's very practical. It's very cool, a little expensive, but very practical and a good idea for thinking that up.
Well, plus and not to take anything away from Amiibo, but 17 Amiibo costs a whole lot more than $80.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Amiibos being, $12, $13, 17 Amiibo, you're looking at $200 plus, whereas this is $80. And so if you want the benefits and the perks and the portability without needing the actual figure, it's a possible way to go.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
there's a whole lot of sellers. It's not like this is the only. There's a lot of sellers that have these. So
Yeah. So to round out the day, I have kind of like a combo between the dock sock and the game holder. It is the Switch Dock Cargo Cozy. And it comes in different colors, and it's just like a fabric little sleeve that you can put over your dock, and then it has a pouch for game cartridges. Probably looks like it can hold up to 4, and then another little pouch that you can put your Joy-Con straps in, so you don't have those little frivolous things laying around everywhere. So just kind of a double whammy in this one that you can use if you are afraid of your screen getting scratched and or losing your accessories in games.
I wish it was a little more like aesthetically pleasing to look. Like it's sort of ugly in my opinion, but practical.
Different colors, but yeah, it's not the most. It's not like the lamp at the beginning. No.
Yeah.
I do like though that people have taken to finding ways to modify the dock to make it more of an efficient means to store and or stash a lot of your Switch stuff. I think that's a very clever idea that I didn't think of before, and that's kind of one of the fun things about Etsy, especially when it comes to the Switch, is you can find accessories that are very unconventional and wouldn't be things that Nintendo would ever officially endorse, but can provide unique value and typically are very quality. You know, we can't speak to the exact value of any of these individual accessories as we don't own any of them, but from past experiences and from looking at these and the reviews and stuff, they seem to be really cool. And if you have any of these of your own, or if you have purchased any or gotten anything like this, definitely let us know your experience. And if not, which one of these do you find to be the most appealing, the most interesting, most intriguing, and will you be getting any of them as well? Let us know if we lit up any new finds for you and things that you want to add to your Switch collection in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to all these Etsy creators for continuing to fill sort of the Switch pool with new toys. I think it's a very, very fun thing to check in on every once in a while. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Until next time, everybody, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest and greatest from the Switch and all sorts of new accessories, both official and unofficial. And until next time, for myself, Jake, and Gabe, hope you enjoyed. Let us know your favorites. Until next time, Switch Force out.